Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Leo Haggerty, Sept up Sports. Peter Blake, you're on field level for the opener. South Florida, BYU. South Florida in the green, BYU in the white. Peter, let's talk about the keys to the game. What's the first one?
The first one is Yuri Bohannon, the transfer from Baylor. Can he get off to a great start for this USF offense? We heard the kid get on a local radio station and say he wants 40 touchdowns, so we'll see if he can get this offense together.
You know what? And one of the other keys for USF is defense. We got to see how Greer and Boyles do. They're two inside linebackers. This is a big key because they got to stay in the game, don't they, Pete?
Absolutely. You talk about staying in the game. Your quarterback has to be protected by the offensive line. And like I said, it's going to be a big-time key today for this USF offense. Can they keep Bohannon upright?
Yeah, last year we were out in Provo. It was 21-0 like that. That can't happen today.
No, it can't happen today. And I tell you right now, once again, it's all about the energy of this team. I'm buying into Jeff Scott. My prediction is USF with a huge win over BYU today at Raymond James Stadium.
I'm calling the same thing. I'm thinking it's going to be high-scoring USF 45-42, maybe even in overtime. Leo Haggerty, Sept up Sports for Peter Blake.
Yes,
check us out after the game. Go Bulls!
Go Bulls!
Merry Christmas. Say, I love football. Say this. Say Tampa. Bay. Bay. Tampa. Tampa. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Say Tampa. Bay. Bay. Oh my God, she's so smart and she's so precious. I love her to death.
There you go.
Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Uncle Peter. Where's Uncle Peter? I call him.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Did you miss me? Gotta love technology, don't you? New laptop. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And how do we start off this show? Because we're going to get right to it. 5 days away as my phone is just going off right now. So let's turn that down. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Once again, 5 days away from Tampa Bay Buccaneer football. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Big D, Jerry's World, whatever you want to call it. Sunday Night Football on NBC. I'm not going to tell you where we're going to be. That's going to be tomorrow night. We're going to give you a little suspense. On tonight's show, we'll have the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and Out media member of Amped Up Sports Night Sports Productions. And then, of course, we'll have Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Sports. And then, of course, your phone calls. Because I missed you. I did. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I tell you what, let's go out to the comments right away. Week 1 is here. Fire those cannons. How about that? Fire the cannons again. We'll do it again. Hello, says Facebook user. I don't know who that is, but click on the link. Thank you very much for tuning in, Tampa Bay. So I'll go ahead and do this.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Absolutely. Christopher Cole says, welcome back, buddy, LFG.
Woo!
Yes, and we'll give you this.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Rob Thompson says LFG.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Roger Shue says 0-1, and this is what you get for that, because I missed you, buddy. You're a troll, and this is what you get when you troll the show.
Shitter!
Let's go out to Jeremiah. What's up, everyone? Been down and out lately, but things will get better because football season is upon us. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time with our intros. Let's get out to the phone lines. Let's get out to our guest here. Here we go. Former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports. He's got his shirt on right there. Mr. Leo Haggerty, welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. Are you ready to go? 5 days away from Tampa Bay Buccaneer football. Only 2 days away from the Rams and Bills on Thursday Night Football. What else are we going to talk about tonight? Welcome.
Are you ready for some? How about some Premier League soccer?
Well, let's play. Yeah, let's do some soccer.
Boom.
I can tell you're pumped up. I'm pumped up. We were out at the USF game. Of course, that didn't necessarily work out in our favor. But a great shot with the cheerleaders behind. Will be out there covering that game on Saturday night versus Howard. Hopefully the result is a lot different. But let's get down to it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Dallas Cowboys. Give me your opening thoughts here on this game on Sunday Night Football on NBC.
Peter, they're not good. That's the problem. If you look at it from the Dallas side, they look like a mass unit over there. They got people hurt every which way you can imagine. They even signed Jason Peter, 40-year-old tackle, to their practice squad. Hey, they may have to use him. And again, that's crazy. But let's go over to the Tampa Bay side. It's not that good either. Again, you lose Ryan Jensen for however many weeks. It may be the season. No one's talked about that yet. Kappa's moved on to Cincinnati. Ali Marpet retired. You got a new center and 2 new guards. That is not a recipe for success. And again, Peter, I can guarantee you the Dallas Cowboys, New Orleans Saints, the Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinators, they are licking their chops because they're coming up to shoot. They're coming up A-gap. And they're going to just drive those people back into Brady. Because as Ron Jaworski has tutored me about this, you put color in a quarterback's face, it is not good. And again, Peter, with all the drama around Brady right now, if any of it's true, how can he concentrate on football? So again, that's a lot of things going on in Tampa. A lot of things going on in Dallas. It's the opening game. We remember last year, the opening game, it wasn't pretty. It was 31-29?
Sure.
So it was a good game if you didn't have a dog in the fight. But I'm concerned about having to go into Dallas on a Sunday night. You're the primetime game, and you got a center and 2 guards you're not sure of.
Well, that's it. Let's go to Dallas and let's talk about their situation. Losing Tyron Smith at left tackle. I mean, how much of a loss is that? Now you got Tyler Smith, who was penciled in as a guard, and now he's going to be the left tackle. That is a big-time challenge to fill. And then you got the greatness of Connor McGovern, who may be the former president, what the former presidential candidate Walter McGovern. That's what the Buccaneer defensive line wants to make him look like. I mean, talk about the challenges there. Tyler Smith on the left side versus possibly a Shaq Barrett, and of course a Joe Tryon Shayenka.
Peter, we saw when Kansas City tried to move guards out to tackles in the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes was running for his life. Now, I think you're going to see the same thing. I think you're going to see the Bucs defensive line manhandle the Dallas offensive line. But here's the one thing that Dallas has in its favor. Everybody talks about Ezekiel Elliott as a running back.
Sure.
He is a fantastic pass blocker. And we saw that last year when they played. They basically kept him in. He was like another guard. He was able to block and protect when Dallas needed it. So, again, that's what bothers me about the Bucs is they don't have that guy. Now, again, Fournette will try. And
Sure.
That's what you want because basically pass blocking is effort. And I like the way Lenny said it. Hey, it's a 5-second street fight. It's exactly what it is. You know, just get in front of them. And I'll tell you what, Peter, one of the best pass blockers as a running back in Buccaneer history was Warrick Dunn. And again, he was what, 4'6"? And he would just know how to get that helmet, put it between the shoulder pads and drive. And I think it shocked more of those defensive linemen than anything else. So here's this little guy, and he's standing up to me. Peter, that game will be decided. Midway through the third quarter, look at the quarterback. The cleaner of the quarterbacks is going to have the lead. That's my prediction right there.
Love it. Absolutely love it. We got Harry the Greek coming in here. He's in the lobby. Let's go out to these comments. Once again, love the web heads tonight. Misador says, it's a trap. Never go into the opposition stadium cocky. Let's go out to Misador. Shaq Mason was a top 7 guard last season. Of course, there was some breaking news just a couple hours before this broadcast. According to Adam Schefter, Mason has restructured his deal to free up $6 million. With that being said, do you think the Bucs are about to make a move, or could this be, I don't know, maybe Rob Gronkowski coming back? Is that wishful thinking? I mean, $6 million is $6 million.
Peter, why would you not free it up unless you're going to use it? So, yeah, something's going to happen. And again, I think they need to look at a center. And this is nothing against Hainsey. Now, understand this. Hainsey is a more valuable asset as a backup. And here's why. He backs up all 5 offensive line positions on game day. So that means the Bucs only have to dress 7 or 8 offensive linemen. If Hainsey starts, which it looks like it's going to happen, they're going to have to dress 8 or 9. That takes away a running back. That may take away a wide receiver, a defensive back. When you got a 53-man roster, you're getting down to some nitty-gritty. And all of a sudden, that return guy has to play somewhere. So that you don't have the luxury of just putting in a guy who can return punts and kickoffs because you need offensive linemen. And again, Peter, the war of attrition starts Sunday. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. We got the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, on here on the Evolution. We're going to go out to Harry in just a moment. Let me keep on reading these comments. Stand by, Harry. Let's go out to Roger Shue. Glad you're back. Thank you very much, sir. Woo! It's good to be back. Evan says, another rocking show. Let me go ahead and give you this.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Absolutely. Let's go out to Misador. Monday morning headline. Lenny pounds it in the big D. Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go out to TJ Barber. Yeah, that's going to be a rocky start, maybe even rocky season. Still think the boys find their way and make it happen to the playoffs. I agree with you. So good stuff there. Woo! Go ahead and give you that right there. Let's go out to Misador. Says Fournette goes for 125 on the ground and 2 touchdowns. I mean, we'll get back to the moment. I want to get Harry on because he is absolutely a proponent of this running game and feels like Lenny could have a big year because of Todd Bowles in the coaching situation. Let's go out to Jeremiah. Sorry, Haggerty. It's Alstott. Christopher says, Coach.
Oh, no. Wait.
Hold
Alstott
on.
is what?
Go ahead.
Pass blocker? Is he talking about Alstott being a pass blocker? No. Don't even go down that road.
All right. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Cole Key has something for that Dallas defense like it. Jeremiah says that's one of the best Bucks blockers. TJ says, didn't Shaq Mason restructure his contract? Maybe picking up a vet on the line. We just reported that. Yash says, hello, Bucks family. Bring your passion. By the way, congratulations, my friend. I know your Gators had a big win this weekend, so we'll go with that. He says, I'm not worried about it. Let's see. Once again, I'm not worried. We look good. And Brandon says, I was getting nervous. Glad you're back, my guy, Peter. Absolutely. That's what happens. When you lose your computer, you replace it. It takes a little bit, but you know what? It's always worth the wait here on the Evolution. I tell you what, let's go out to this guy. Here we go. All right.
Opa!
Let's start here. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Buddy, it's been a long time. Of course, we do the over-under on Friday nights on 1252 Chicago Sports. Let's start there with Leonard Fournette. Could this be a big game for Lombardi? Lenny, welcome to the Evolution.
Hey, Peter, great to be back on. And most importantly, let me take a look at my buddy over there, Mr. Little Leo Haggerty. What's up, my brother?
Not much. Hey, Peter, have you told Harry the surprise we have in store for him? Not this Saturday, but next Saturday?
I kind of have, and I'm going to tell you something. We're just gonna reveal it because he kind of already knows. Guys,
Stop.
Amped Up Sports will be out at the Swamp covering the Florida Gators versus your USF Bulls. We'll see if USF can put up
my Florida Gators.
Your Florida Gators. Yes, we will be out there covering that. My buddy right here has never, ever been credentialed to a sporting event. That to me is criminal. He works hard. He deserves it. Leo's going out of town. Rob is going out of town. So you know what? It's going to be the Peter and Harry show here. Harry,
I can't wait to see that pregame and postgame. I am truly looking forward to that. When you're under the goalpost at the Swamp, Harry, I think you'll you'll enjoy it.
Buddy, I've been to the Swamp twice, and once I seen Shane Matthews play, and the other time was my boy, Mr. Sexy Rexy himself, you know? love my Rex Grossman, bro. Love my Rex Grossman. And I tell you what, there's nothing like it. Even when I was growing up in Chicago, Florida's always been my favorite team. I've never liked the team from the Tiny 10. Let that be known and on the record.
All right.
Ouch.
Ouch is right. I tell you right now, we will definitely be out there. We got to do some. I got to do some uncle duty that night because Miss Kinsley K has a party earlier on that day. So we're going to go to the party. We're going to be Uncle Pete, and then after that, we're going to be on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
No, you're not going to be Uncle Pete. You're going to be Uncle Peter.
Peter. I'm telling you, when she says Tampa Bay, it's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
With that being said,
hey, Harry, before we go on, I got to let you know I'm 7-1 out of the gate with my college picks.
I know, brother. I know. I'm 137-91 in baseball this year. And Leo, congratulations on being 7-1. You won me a boatload of money on your first week picks. I'll get off the air and told you about it because I kind of wasn't really doing any work in college because I have too much to do, especially in the National Football League.
Right.
Getting ready, looking at preseason, breaking down film taking a look at proposition bets and everything else. But who was playing Hawaii?
Oh, God, Vanderbilt. Oh, my Lord.
I won.
And Vanderbilt was a dog.
I won a package. I put them on the money line. So since we really segued right into the gambling portion of things,
yes,
let it be known.
All right.
We have to give a Thursday night pick. Buffalo Bills at the Los Angeles Rams.
Yes.
Everybody is counting on Buffalo. Oh, they're going to the Super Bowl. They're doing this. Look, guys, they may not even make the playoffs. Be smart with your money. Play the home dog. Put them on the money line. The Rams are not a joke. They're coming.
Well, and I tell you right now, we have not talked about the Buffalo Bills. I definitely think they're a Super Bowl contender. I think they got one of the best young quarterbacks in the league in the Josh Allen.
They're
But,
missing his security blanket, though. He's down
well,
in New York.
you're right. You're exactly right, because now Ken Dorsey, former Miami Hurricane quarterback, taking over the offensive coordinator responsibilities. Leo, let me go to you, and then we'll come back to you here in a moment. A little bit too much pressure on the Buffalo Bills. Can they duplicate that success with Mr. Allen at the controls?
Peter, they're a coin toss away from probably going to the Super Bowl last year. You know, Josh Allen calls heads instead of tails or whatever it was. They get the ball, they're going to win. Whoever got the ball, we knew was going to win that game. But I tell you what, the funny thing about the NFL is you don't want to get through September. You want to survive September.
Yep.
Because tackling is terrible. You're talking about, I mean, think about this. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played a series yet. And they're going to try to start and go with that. And Tom Brady has played, what, 6 plays? I don't get that. None of these guys have gone into the second half yet. So you're talking about people that have to go and play 60, 70 plays, and they're not used to it. And again,
Sure.
It's crazy. And Harry, I want to throw this out at you. I got the Detroit Lions as the surprise team in the NFL this year. 7, 8, maybe 9 wins. And here's why. They play every game this year on Sunday at noon or 1 o'clock. How much of an advantage of that is?
Well, let's go out to
Dude,
Harry.
that's-
I mean, what do you have to say about the Detroit Lions? Of course, the popular pick because of Hard Knocks, their coach, highly entertaining coach at this point in Dan Campbell. They played hard last year, but at the end of the day, they only had 3 wins for the whole season. Is this the year where the Lions step out?
Great question. You know, and it's very observant. Leo, you don't even have to make me full screen because I want to see Leo's face when I talk to him.
Okay. All right. Let's go. There we go.
Listen, and I appreciate the full screen and everything. Leo, I know exactly where you're coming from. Just recently, and I was telling Peter that I broke down 7 different teams, all 3 games, only in the first quarter so I can see their 1s and 2s play. The Bears were one of them. Tampa was one of them. Detroit, Buffalo, the Rams, Dallas, Kansas City. I can keep going on and on and on. And Detroit, before I really started watching their film, I thought, man, good draft. A quarterback that's not going to turn the ball over. A good running game. They're going to run the ball to set up the pass, something they totally been different from the past, 8 or 10 or even 15 years. But what I seen, Leo, was something that was very disappointing, and I could be very wrong. But I seen the defense that's supposed to be a strong suit for this team is actually going to be a weaker part of this team because they had a lot of problems staying. They had a very difficult time watching their 1s and 2s stay gap disciplined. They were not staying in their lanes whatsoever. They were getting blown off the blocks and very vanilla offenses going up against them. And I'm going to tell you this. When you have young players that are supposed to be starters that are getting blown off the line or not staying disciplined in their gaps to let the linebackers play, that can be a problem. You, of a lot of people, will know that. For those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about, it's about the way teams play. It's about fundamental, disciplined football, and that team is not playing disciplined. Now, that doesn't mean they can't turn it on starting the season. But from what I've seen, I'm not liking what Detroit's doing. But if they get it together, this could be the surprise team in the NFC.
And guess who they open up with, guys? The Philadelphia Eagles at home. That'll be an interesting game, to say the least.
Absolutely. Interesting game because Jalen Hurts, of course, lots of questions. Let's get back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, they're 4-point favorites. Now, if you were to look at this, I'm sorry, I know you're going to get back to Tampa, but if you went up to the average Joe Blow and said, hey, who do you like, Philadelphia or Detroit? They wouldn't care if the game was held on Mars. They're going to say Philadelphia. And then you ask them, what do you think that line's going to be? And they're going to tell you anywhere between 7, 10, maybe even 12 points. It's 4 points. That's all they're favored by. So are you kidding me? This Detroit team can be very sneaky, or Philadelphia's quarterback play is going to be very suspect. This could be a very interesting week 1, Leo.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, I'm not a Jalen Hurts fan. I like to see the stash in there because he's a little more accurate. But Peter, Let me let you get back. It's your show. Go ahead.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, here's the thing. You're exactly right with A.J. Brown. I think there's some pressure on there. And, of course, I think they hope that Hurts and Brown can have that same type of success, if you will, that Allen and Diggs had when the Buffalo Bills traded for Diggs because it transformed their offense. They want to do the same thing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Tell you what, let's go out.
Different offense.
Very true. Roger Shoe says, go Bears. I'll let you slide on that. Juana says, hi, Peter Leo. There you go. Hi, Harry the Greek. Roger again. Hi, Greek. Missed you. Jeremiah says, tell Haggerty that it's Allstott helped us block for our Bucks. TJ says, go ahead. Retort.
You please understand, I said pass blocking. I
Right.
didn't say blocking, pass blocking.
Right.
Please listen.
Yes. Well, there you go. And the teacher is in session right there. The legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty. He's exactly right. He said pass blocking. Mike Allstott was not the best pass blocker. Now, was he one of the best feature backs in Bucks history? Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt.
The best closer, period.
Right. Okay.
Let me say one thing about Mike Allstott. For someone that does know him,
Go for it.
first off, he represented my hometown in Chicago, where he's from. Okay,
Joliet,
let's just throw it
Illinois,
out there.
by
He's
the
from
way.
Joliet, right? And
Joliet.
besides the fact that if you're watching, Mike, I love when you come into the shop and bust my balls 24/7. Okay, just letting you know that. But when Mike had the block,
Wait a minute now. He comes into your shop. We
all
need
the
to
time.
get him on one of these shows.
Well, I don't like to bug him too much, but
Oh,
I'll get him. I'll tell you what, I'll get him on one of the shows.
All
Okay,
right.
but I
Okay.
will tell you one thing about his pass blocking. You're right; it was very suspect. But when he had to block,
Oh,
God.
whole different animal.
I mean, what it's not. It's the difference between pass blocking and then
drive
taking
blocking.
someone and drive blocking. Because
Blocking.
when he was going after somebody, that
You
hurt.
don't want to be that guy in the other color jersey. That's for sure.
No.
Well, no, and you make a business decision very quick. Ask the former team, the Washington football team, if you will. I believe it's Sean Springs that got ran over in one of those classic clips from Mike Allstott. I mean, just
I wish I had it.
runs there. All right, what's a good? TJ says, who is a good pickup available for the Bucks on the offensive line? Now, first and foremost, I want to read these comments from Tom Brady because he was on his Let's Go podcast, and he said it's going to be a challenge for this offensive line. In fact, he says, we got Shaq Mason, who I love to death. I played with him a long time. I know what he's all about. Robert Hanzi's earned the respect of his teammates with his work ethic and him showing up every day last year. He's going to step in and try to do a good job. And we've got a left guard who is battling every day. Luke Haggerty has done a great job for us in training camp. We drafted him to come in and play. We'll see if he can get in there and be prepared to do a great job. He also says, paraphrasing, I hope that these offensive linemen are taking it to heart what all the critics are saying, because all they're saying, all the talking heads there are saying right now, the Bucs offensive line is going to struggle. They're going to have their problems. Tom Brady's going to get hit. It's the weakest part of this team. With that being said, Leo first, then Harry. Do you see anybody out there right now, offensive line, that you're going to go and pick up or trade at this moment?
Not this late, Peter. That's going to make a difference. Again, anytime you start a new offensive lineman from last year, it's going to take 2 games to get him involved, to get him in sync with the rest. You're talking about 3. Oh, hey, I didn't teach math, but 3 times 2 is 6.
Right.
They won't be cohesive. There's my SAT word of the night.
Very nice.
Until middle of October or later. And again, that's assuming no injuries. And what's going to happen is teams are going to rush in the A gap. They don't care about coming against Tristan Wirfs. They don't care coming against Donovan Smith. They want to get color in Brady's face right up to shoot, because if somebody breaks through, Brady is going to hit the turf, because he's been taught, look, go down, fight another play. Don't try to be a hero there. And again, the biggest fear Brady has, and remember, Peter, we asked Tristan Wirfs this.
Yep.
What did Brady tell you? Don't let him come quick. Don't let him come inside. That's the key.
That's it. That's the key, and that's always been the key to Brady's career, is that interior pressure. How about you, Mr. Harry, the Greek professional handicap?
He's doing math. Harry's doing math.
Well, you're doing math, 137 to 91. How's that math for you? What do you think? Offensive line picking up somebody there? They just freed up $6 million.
No, they're not picking up anybody. Save
Okay.
it. They're not picking up anybody. They can't. It's the time of the year. Look, it's almost a blessing in disguise. I'd love to see that offensive line with Jensen in there and everybody else, but it's not going to happen. So you got to make with what you have. It's going to be the weak spot of this team, and it can hurt them. If this was last year's team, they'd be out of the playoffs. This is a different formula team. This is a team that's going to run the football. I promise you they're going to run the football now, because Tom Brady's biggest thing is, and let me tell you something, Leo is absolutely correct. When it's coming through the line, he is taught to drop. Tom Brady is not a quarterback that's going to take a step backwards to make a read downfield. He wants to step into his throws. He wants to step up into the pocket. He's not going to be able to do that much this year, but I promise you, if they run the ball 50-50, he'll have plenty of opportunities to step up in the pocket to find the open receivers. This team will be fine. If they try to pass the ball 40 times in the game, it's going to be bad.
Well, hey, Peter, let me. Here's the dilemma that defensive coordinators have.
Okay.
If they look at the Rams film, and again, you got to give Raheem Morris so much credit for this. Okay. He put both of his defensive ends in what we call a ghost nine. Now, a nine technique, a ghost nine is outside, way outside. What it did is it forced the tackles to retreat, and they couldn't anchor because they just had to shuffle back and push this guy by. The first half, when Brady caught the ball in the shotgun, he drifted back. He drifted right into that rush. So here's the quandary the defensive coordinators have. Do I put those two guys out there in a wide ghost nine and then jump the A-gap and hope to God the Bucs don't run it off tackle? That's not their modus operandi. And Harry, I think you are exactly right. They're going to pound the rock because they've got to keep people off of Brady. And the only way to do that is to force them to play run.
They have to, and it's not so much forcing. I'm sorry, Peter. I need to interject here because I love jumping on this because look, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to pass the ball 45 times a game. Let me go back to the Super Bowl, everybody. Please, I want you to remember this. Tom Brady didn't pass for 200 yards. Don't you remember the fourth quarter when he's sitting next to the head coach with his arms folded, watching the defense going, ouch, ooh, that really hurt. Look at Pat running around. I mean, trust me, he's 45 years old, okay? It hurts, man, to get out of bed sometimes. It's going to be the beginning of the season. He's going to run the football. But you know what the upside of this Bucs fans are? I'm going to tell you what the upside of it is. By week 6 or 7, your pass protection is going to be a lot better. A lot better because there's going to be a rhythm. They're going to have that mo going into it. However, if BA has anything to say about it, to pass this ball, this team could be 3-3 in the first 6 games.
Peter,
you let Todd Bowles run it, and you let Leftwich go the way he's supposed to go, and let's be the run-first team, this team could be 6-0 very easily.
Really quick, guys, because Misador mentioned this. Over 100 yards versus that Dallas defense, very susceptible. And when we talk about Michael Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year, as a rookie, tremendous. But really, is that the matchup, in your opinion, Leo, that the Bucs have to expose?
Oh, I got a comment for that.
Peter, I think what they have to do is they have to force Dallas to play run. They've got to come out and just pound it, and pound it. Just slow the rush down because they want to, and here's the key. They got to win first down. They got to be 2nd and 7 or less.
Yep.
That way now the run and the pass are in play. And play action is going to be a big part of the Bucs offense. And again, you got the guy in Fournette who can go in there, carry it 20, 25 times a game. And again, Harry, I can't agree with you more. If this team's throwing it 40 times a game, they're losing.
Oh, yeah.
They want to throw it somewhere between 20 and 26 times a game. That's it. Because remember, the defensive coordinator is going to figure out, okay, if the Bucs don't think they can protect Brady, it's all going to be quick checkdowns. It's all going to be quick hitters. It's all going to be passes within the first 10 yards. They're not going to go deep because they don't think they can trust their offensive line. So you're going to see a lot of cover one off the line of scrimmage probably a single high safety, maybe double high, but they're going to force the Buccaneers to go deep, see if they can protect Brady. That's what I'm thinking. That's why I think running is so important.
And you know what? You'll see a lot of that because you're going to see 2 wide receiver sets. You're not going to see the same 5 outs that you're seeing in the past couple of years. Okay, you're going to see a lot of 2 wide receiver sets. You're going to see a lot of 12 personnel up in there when you're keeping 2 tight ends in the game, or as Ray would like to say, the jumbo package. But I'm telling you, bro, listen. It's not boring football because when you are dropping that safety into the box, I wish Blake Anthony was on here tonight because he could explain it a lot better. He corrected me on a few things in my analogies, and I played the game. But I'm telling you, when you get defenses actually starting to respect the run, it does open up the passing lanes, and that's when you do have your excellent wide receivers, which the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have. And this is when you can either get burned deep, across the middle, or whatever. But going back to Micah Parsons, I'm going to tell you where his fault is. He still, this year, is going to be the same as last. He's going to stop the run. He's going to rush the passer. But you get him moving east and west, trying to cover somebody, he's no good. Okay, he couldn't cover you, Leo.
You know what, Harry? I think that's the same problem with the Buccaneers inside linebackers. They're, 45-54, they're twins. Mm-hmm. But they are not the greatest cover guys in the world. That's why they can cover that up with a good pass rush.
And again, that's why, bring me back in, Peter, please. And that's why I'm glad you brought it up, because this defense, put us all together, please. Okay. Leo, this is why the Buccaneers are better this year than they are last year defensively, because of one exact addition. His name is Akeem Hicks.
Akeem Hicks, and he's going to chew up double teams.
Akeem Hicks, I'm sorry, Tampa Bay fans, he's better than Vita Vea. The end. Okay. Well, when he's healthy, he is an all-tool player. He will stop the run like Vita Vea. Vita Vea couldn't hold his jockstrap when it comes to rushing a quarterback. I'm sorry. This guy is an animal in the middle, an absolute animal. And both of those players are going to require a double team. And what happens then? You have Shaq Barrett. You have other defensive ends. You could put Leo Haggerty in at safety, and he can get to the quarterback. Believe me when I tell you, this is the best thing about Tampa Bay's team this year is going to be that defense. And they don't need to pass the ball that much because the defense is going to give them short fields all game long.
Peter, I'm going to ask you this.
Sure, go for it.
What team ran the blitz the most times last year in the NFL?
It was.
I believe it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It was almost 33 to 34% of the time.
Won't have to
I think that number is going to change because, again, you can get pressure with 4 guys. And again, my big concern was you got to find somebody to replace Sue. Well, guess what? Akeem Hicks can replace him. So you got Vita Vea, you got Akeem Hicks. They're going to chew up 3 to 4 guys, probably 4. So
all right, guys.
You're going to have those ends coming hard.
That's 700 pounds of beef.
Well, it really is. And to me, Hicks has to replace Ndamukong Suh because Sue had 6 sacks. Right. I know how you feel about him, Harry. We're on with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports. Leo Haggerty, the legend himself, former Coach Scott and now media member of Amped Up Sports, Night Sports Productions. I know you got to get out of here, Leo. Can you hang out for just a little more time here?
Give me 5 minutes, Peter.
5 minutes. All right. I got to get this question out here. It's a USF one. We'll get back to in a moment, Harry. Glad to see you back, Peter. As a huge fan of USF, I am just a tad depressed, frustrated with Jeff Scott. I'm wondering how long he has before things become unattainable at South Florida. Leo word, P.S., they better beat Howard. I got to get out to you because I bought the energy of this team, but the first play of the game was a foreshadowing, if you will, of what was to come for a night of just disappointment.
It was an abomination, Peter. Yeah. But here's the thing. Unless you played the game or coached the game, you have just asked your team to sit for 2.5 hours. They had to go out and get food because these guys are going to get hungry. You know, we sat there with Jeff Scott, and I said, Coach, you know, I know a loss is a loss, but
sure.
What's worse, losing on the last play at UCF or getting blown out by BYU? And again, he said, hey, they're both bad. You can move on from this one because, and Peter, if you see the film of the interception, the pick six,
Ugh.
two guys forget to block the
Oh.
BYU. Literally, he comes untouched. That was not on Bohannon. I'm looking, I'm going, oh my God, this guy. And we're sitting in the press box and we're seeing it transpire in front of us. But again, folks, throw that one out because you don't know how your team is going to react. You can't prepare to sit for 2.5 hours and then, because believe me, as a player, as a coach, you have a time to bring your passion, bring your excitement at kickoff. All of a sudden, you got nonsense. You got to sit in the locker room. And Jeff Scott said, we had to keep them in their pads for an hour and a half because we weren't getting updates until 5 minutes before. So they would go 20. They said 10 minutes, we're going out in the field, and boom, another half hour. Finally, they just said, take the pads off. So, yeah, it was an abomination. Don't judge this team on that game. I think they're going to beat Howard. I think they're going to go to Florida and play a lot better.
Well, and I love the whole the bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense. You know, that's the reason why he's a legend on this show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go out to Roger Shue, the Big Greek, and Little Pete. This is what you get for that.
Shut up!
Let's go out to Rick Razor on fire. Win again, 8-4, and the Yankee game was canceled today, so I believe that puts them in the loss column, 4.5 back. This Rays team now also getting back Wander Franco and possibly Tyler Glass now. They're ready for rehabilitation with Durham, with their starts there. So everything working in the Rays' favor right now and everything going the wrong way for the New York Yankees. All right, let's go out to Juana here. Yep, very nice, Leo. Cohesive. Brady needs to roll out, laugh out loud. That's not going to happen. I don't.
And they don't have a golf cart to put him in a quarterback.
Right. Well, he can run now. He was shown last year. He showed against the New York Giants that he still has some wills. Brady
Peter,
will
you
retire.
could beat him on a race.
Peter.
Hold on. Let me read this comment. Well, wait a minute now.
I'll drink to that, Peter.
He has some athleticism now. He did show that. He's on the TB12 thing. You know, he's on the TB.
Let me go get some avocado toast for you, okay?
Okay, I got this for you. How about that?
Shut up.
All right, Roger Shue says Brady will retire week 7 and 8 due to personal reasons. Giselle gonna leave him if he don't. I put up $100, Pete, and I will take your money.
Oh, Peter, don't take that bet. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone.
I'm taking that bet because Brady is going to be more motivated than ever.
Can you say Kyle Trask?
Will you shut up and be quiet?
Hey, Harry.
Yes, sir.
What's the line that Giselle goes, it's mere football about the middle of October?
You know, now you can make me full screen.
Okay, go ahead.
That's already happened.
I figured that.
And I think it is. I think that was the report.
That's already happened. She wants her husband home. And listen, look, take football out of the equation. This man has not been there for his family. These kids are almost grown up, guys. I mean, come on. Okay.
You know, and Harry, hopefully, I'm saying hopefully, he sat down with Giselle and said, hey, I'm thinking of coming back. If he made this decision on his own, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Brother, he's whew. Hey, Peter, by the way.
Yes.
Thursday, Brady's going to talk to the press.
Oh, okay. All right.
Inside sources are telling me this.
Questions come.
Inside sources have already told me that there is a possibility that his wife has really been putting a lot of pressure on him about this.
Yeah.
Okay. But then again, I don't listen to fake news. Right. I just never have and that's why I don't listen to the ESPNs and the NFL networks and the Max Kellermans and everybody else. I don't like people making decisions for me. You know what decisions I like to make? My own, and people that actually look at a TV and become judgmental. Not opinionated, but you can judge for yourself from what you're actually seeing. Okay?
Yeah. Hey, Peter, real quick before I get off.
I know.
What a crazy week of college football.
I'm telling you.
Starting with West Virginia and Pitt. I think the West Virginia kid caught the ball on the goal line. The referee said so, and then they overruled it. I think if that's a West Virginia. And then we finish up with FSU and LSU. And believe me, Harry, I think if FSU loses that game, Mike Norville may get fired. That's how bad a mistake it was to run a pitch on the goal line, and they fumble it away. Well, all you do is take a knee, make them burn all 3 timeouts, kick a field goal, go home.
In all honesty, I thought it was a very perfectly evenly matched game because I think both teams stink. Honestly, okay. Neither one of them have an offense. LSU.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, Peter.
Hold on.
Shut up!
Hold on. 24
I forgot.
23. Wait a minute. Now, yes, I'm a Florida State homer, but I got to make something clear here. Jordan Travis, 20 for 32, 260 with 2 touchdowns. The kid looked good. He looked a lot better than he did last year. You got the kid Wilson, who made an unbelievable catch there, with Travis basically getting beheaded by the LSU defender. A perfect throw, even better catch. Not ready to say FSU's offense is not that good. I think they have some firepower here, but I agree with you. LSU, are they a great team? They're still in the
both these teams are not. I shouldn't say they stink because that's just not really right. Okay, they're just not very good.
No, that's not
if
right.
You can, guys, and again, this will be my crowning exit statement.
Okay.
If you can only score 24 points in a college football game right now, you don't have a good offense.
Yep.
I mean, look at what happened with Ohio State and Notre Dame. Yeah, it's all hype, it's all pomp and circumstance. But until you should be putting up 30 plus points every night, because you get the ball 12, 14, 16 times. Man, just get down the field. So, and again, Harry, it's always a pleasure to be on with
I love you, Leo.
And we'll get together next week, probably same bat time, probably Monday night, right, Peter?
Yes, Monday night. We'll definitely do that. I wanted one more comment
quick
here. Chris Godwin came out on the In the Moment podcast with David Green. Of course, he's been practicing without the knee brace, and he says, I'm playing this week. It's a great question. I don't think any of us know yet. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it matters that much. I would love to be there for the entire season, but I think what's more important is being there for the second half of the season.
Oh, absolutely.
Being there when I missed last year. So, does that kind of rule him out? Do you think the Bucs are going to be cautious? Let me go to you, Leo, and then I'll go to you, Greek.
God, I hope so. They need it. And everybody says Mike Evans is, I think without Chris Godwin, Mike Evans is a little bit less of a guy than everybody thinks, just because Chris Godwin does all the dirty stuff. He does all the blocking. He runs that daggone Z screen like it's a trick play.
Correct.
Again, I think if I'm the Bucs, I'm not thinking of putting him in until October, because again, remember, where did he get hurt? New Orleans. Who they play second game of the season?
New Orleans.
Let this puppy go till October. See what it's like after 4 games. Bring him back, because I want him in November, December.
Harry, is it basically, again, foreshadowing things to come that Godwin is not going to play in this game and the Bucs are going to be cautious, or do you kind of think he's playing a little poker here?
Well, I kind of like the speculations all the time. I guess that's what we're good for. Look, someone that's torn his ACL.
Okay.
I don't think you rush the guy back, especially when you've invested so much money, because God forbid he tears it like OBJ did when he brought him back too soon. Now you're down for another year and possibly career ending. Leo's absolutely correct, but if he's healthy enough, play. But in my opinion, he's not Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, and let's go back here real quick. Jonathan Isaac for the Orlando Magic has missed 2 years. 2 years with a torn whatever. We don't know how bad this was. Now, again, granted, guys heal differently. Adrian Peterson is, he's the exception to the rule. I am going very slowly with Chris Godwin. I'm not saying, do you think he can play? Because every player says, yeah, I think I can play. Let's go. No.
Well, Leo, go back to when he was in the playoffs against Washington. Remember, he was dinged up in the knee and he still had the pin in the hand. Remember that?
Sure.
It was Chris. I couldn't catch a ball.
Right. But we know how important he is to this offense. And with him coming out and saying, look, in the grand scheme of things, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Oh,
And we
absolutely.
feel like, look, at the end of the day, if the Bucks have Tristan Wirfs and Chris Godwin, I do believe that they will beat the LA Rams. Leo Haggerty, thanks a lot for your time. I know you went a little bit over tonight, my friend, but always enjoy the conversation. It's always great to be back. We'll see you on Saturday. Go ahead and promote yourself once again here on the
All
Evolution.
right. Hey, check it out on Amped Up Sports. Tonight I did my Leo's Daily Memo on the NFC South. And I tell you what, my thoughts are come December, it's still going to be a 2-horse race. It's going to be Tampa Bay and it's going to be New Orleans. But I'll tell you what, don't sleep on Carolina because if McCaffrey's healthy, watch out.
That's
I'll
a big
leave you
if.
with that, guys.
That's a big if. And
No,
I
it's
tell
not
you,
a big if. It's a huge if.
It's a huge if, and it's a reason why I didn't draft him in the fantasy football draft there. Leo Haggerty, thanks a lot for your time.
Leo, when are we getting together? I want to take you to Greek Town, my brother.
Let's all get together for wings. I tell you, and
wings.
Maybe I can
Did he not hear what I just said?
No, Greek Town. We gotta have some
souvlakis and lamb and saganaki and all that good stuff.
Shut up!
I say we all have wings. Let's just make it simple here.
Malacca, right here, Malacca.
You got it.
Get out of here, Leo. See you later. There you go. Good stuff. Let's come back here with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, here on the Sports Web Live on I Love St. Pete, the hub, and Amped Up Sports. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Great to be back with you here, fixing that computer. How does that screen look, by the way?
My God, screen looks really, really good, Peter.
All right, good. Good stuff there. Let's go out.
Looks like you lost 10 pounds all in your face, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think people recognize that, but yes, I did shave the beard, by the way. The beard is gone. It's not coming back for a little while. We got to change it up a little bit, a little fresh approach, and that's what we're going to do here on the Sports Web. Let's go out to Jeremiah. The team is comfortable in every aspect of this. Do you feel like this Tampa Bay team is coming in comfortable, or do you think they're coming in hungry and a little bit pissed off, if you will, because that's all we heard in these pressers in the offseason, how they were still not over that loss versus the LA Rams in the divisional playoff game?
Well, every team has a little bit of a bitter taste in their mouth, but they know it's a new season, Peter.
Sure.
I mean, if you guys remember game 1, Dallas came to town and it was my game of the year, the game of the century. Oh my God, bet Tampa, bet Tampa, bet Tampa. And then they almost lost the game. They theoretically could have lost the game.
Right.
Well, now you got a Dallas team that's even hungrier. They got a little better, and now they're on the road. But as far as being pissed off, they could be. But I don't like the fact that Brady missed 10 days. He didn't spend as much time with that offense. You got a banged up offensive line. The uncertainty of what the play calling is actually going to be. Leo and I can only speculate, that they're going to run the ball a lot more. But I do know one thing: they're going to be a lot better defensively, and that's going to really keep them into games. But as far as being pissed off, or give them a little bit more motivation because they lost the year before, I could see it be more motivating for them, actually. Yeah, I can.
And when Brady loses the year before, the very next year, guess what happens?
They win the Super Bowl.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Just saying. Play the numbers, my friend. Play the numbers.
Yeah, but Brady didn't take off 10 days to go take a sabbatical.
10 days.
Hold on.
Oh,
Peter, that's a lot, Peter.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot for the greatest quarterback of all time.
No, it's not because of the quarterback, Peter. It's not because
made too much of a big deal about.
It's not about the quarterback. It's about the leader of your franchise not being there on the sidelines coaching his teammates up. They're going into week 1 with a different offensive game plan. They're going in with a different offensive line. There's a lot of uncertainties with this offense. I'm telling you this because you know that I understand this game. You know this game as well. You got to stop looking at it from a fan's perspective, but from an objective perspective. These are not good signs, okay? I'm not saying this team is doom and gloom. It's just going to take a couple of games for this team to really get together because 10 days, hey, bro, that's a week and a half of training camp, and that's being with your 1s and 2s and some of the rookies. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I say right now, if they get off to a 3-1 start or a 4-0 start, which is, look, everybody's saying this is a tough schedule, and it is. You got to play the Cowboys on the road. You got to go on the road against the Saints. You haven't been able to beat them. You come home, you play Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. But then after that, you're good to go. It's a much easier schedule, a much more manageable schedule, if you will. But you have to get through these first 4 weeks. So they may be 2-2. They may be off to a slow start. But guess what? We've seen that before. You know what year that happened? 2020. They got off to a slow start, and guess what? They finished strong. Not how you start, it's how you finish. But I agree with you.
Younger ball club.
Yep.
You can't compare the years. All I'm saying is from a cohesive standpoint, you need to be there with your teammates. I'm not trying to make an issue of it.
Okay.
You have a coaching change, you have a management change, you have a personnel change, you have the uncertainty with the offensive line. There are some question marks here.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why they're only a 1.5 favorite in Dallas.
Well, how's that gone up? Because I saw that it went up about 2.5 points.
No,
So
it's 1.5 points is what the line is. And by the way, Pete, what's the 88% rule for a road favorite? That's 1.5.
You take the home team.
Right. Okay.
Are we okay? Are we applying that to this game?
If it's at game time, unfortunately, yes.
Okay. All right. Harry the Greek right there teaching you a little gambling there.
Listen, it's just game one. Okay. I'm not worried about the Cowboys, the Packers, and the Saints and everybody else. You know who I'm worried about? I'm worried about the Panthers. I'm worried about the Falcons. I'm worried about the low-level Lion teams that could catch this team off guard. Tampa will. I'm not sure it's going to be week one, but I promise you, when Kansas City and Green Bay are coming around, this team will be up for the challenge. The only reason why I'm saying you can have a little letdown in week one, it's because for all the reasons that I just said exactly 2 minutes ago. Other than that, this team will be focused and ready to go. Still, in my opinion, the best team in the NFC.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go out to Awana again. Great outlook. Harry Roger says $9 and $8. This is what you get for that.
Shut up.
Rick says we are missing pieces on the defensive line too, and our defensive backs are not good. Do you agree with that? I mean, to me, I don't think the defensive backs are not good. Jamel Dean will be your second corner, which is kind of a surprise, but he did play well last year in Sean Murphy-Bunting's absence. I think it comes down to health. This team was, so ravaged by injuries last year. If they can all stay on the field together, I think this defense is probably one of the most talented the Bucs have ever had. What do you say?
Defensively, this team is probably the most talented that they've had. Okay. And I'm going to tell you one thing. You are correct. This secondary is really not that good, especially the corners. They're not. But I will tell you this. They're going to look like superstars with that front four. What am I saying? The front seven. Trust me, a mediocre secondary, it doesn't get exposed when you have a front seven like Tampa Bay. It's all I'm saying. You can have the best secondary in the world. You can have Richard Sherman in his prime, gentlemen and ladies. And if you don't have a good front four getting to the quarterback, you can call Richard Sherman toast.
Yes, you can call Deion Sanders toast. You can call Rod Woodson toast.
Maybe not Deion and Rod Woodson. Those were really solid. But what I'm saying is
it's
you
all
can take
predicated on the pressure up front.
Correct.
You're exactly correct. And that is what, even with the statistics last year, I believe the Bucs had like 44 sacks. They didn't get enough consistent pressure on the quarterback. That's why JPP doesn't have a job in the National Football League, and the Bucs decided to move on because they want to see what Joe Tryon Shayenka can do. And also, that's the reason why Sue's not on this team anymore, because they wanted to upgrade. They feel like they upgraded. Let's see what Todd Bowles and this defense has with this test on Sunday night versus the Cowboys. Juana says, the jumbo package. Love it here. Of course, everybody loves the jumbo package. Even Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, I miss you, buddy. Definitely come back. Oh, wow, says Jasmine. Welcome to the evolution.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Roger Shoes says
Jasmine.
this team is awesome. Let's go out to Rick. Michael Kelly, AD job on the line, I believe. Thanks for the money, Pete. You're absolutely welcome. But once again, you will lose. Roger says, Brady, Malaka, this is what you get for that.
Shut up.
If Mr. Leo doesn't think we're going to use that freed up money for an offensive lineman, who do you think we freed up the money for? Of course, that was the news of the day. Adam Schefter reporting from ESPN that the Bucs have restructured Shaq Mason's deal Of course, I don't know how they got this guy out of New England for what they gave up. He frees up $6 million. Is there talk here? Do you think that the Bucks are freeing up that $6 million to A, make a move on the line, or B, are they saving it to try to get Rob Gronkowski in the fold? Goal.
I think option A is going to be the biggest thing for them. I
Okay.
think they're going to try to look for someone, especially in the offense, and that's why they're freeing up that money. Or they could be freeing up that money because you're still dealing with one of the best general managers of all time, and they're always looking out for the betterment of the team.
Okay. All right.
Can you?
No, absolutely. I agree. I mean, I think that certainly, look, when they free up money, they do it for a reason. They're going all in. This organization wants to win a Super Bowl. Tom Brady feels like they were close to a Super Bowl last year. Look, they're a defensive, stop away from being in the Super Bowl, in my opinion. If they can get past the Rams, they beat the 49ers, and they will beat the Bengals, and you have 2 consecutive Super Bowls. But at the end of the day, the defense didn't do their job. They had 3 bad quarters of offense. They had multiple injuries to that wide receiving room. You had your offensive line, your best offensive lineman out with an injury in Tristan Wirfs. That's the reason why you couldn't beat the Rams, and you were still close in that game. Put that in perspective. Let's go out to Jasmine. Giselle needs to fall back, shaking my head. Jeremiah says the U spanked
Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune-Cookman. Yes, they did. Gotta go. Great show, Roger Shue. Thank you very much, Roger. Appreciate you as always. Antonio Brown was supposed to be the replacement for Godwin, but
So was Tyler Johnson.
He
Move
quit.
on.
He quit. And we'll get out to Julio Jones in a moment. Some comments from, of course, Todd Bowles, and also hear more from Tom Brady off of his podcast, the Let's Go podcast from last night. Nice hearing you on the show tonight, Leo. Let's go out to Cole. Thanks to Leo for talking me off the ledge on USF. I agree. It was a crazy weekend. That ECU North Carolina State game was heartbreaking. The kicker for ECU was an AAC all-conference kicker last year. That East Carolina game will be sneaky tough. Good stuff there. The screen looks great. Thank you very much, Juan. Appreciate you. I somewhat agree with you, Harry, but I have seen quarterbacks get hurt in practice and miss the entire preseason and come out week 1 without skipping a beat.
But that's not what I was talking about.
Okay.
I wasn't talking about him getting playing time. I was talking about him being on the field and coaching up the kids that are coming up. 1, 2. Sitting there and instructing when the players are coming off, hey, this is what you did wrong. This is what we need to do better. It's not about playing. It's about being there with your teammates. You are the leader of this team. As long as he's been, I don't ever remember Tom Brady ever taking off 2 weeks in training camp. I'm sorry. It's not about the playing. It's about being there.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And again, a lot of people will point to that, but I believe if the Bucks get off to a great start and Brady is Brady, nobody's going to even remember him missing 10 or 11 days of training camp. But I understand there's a lot of new faces on this offensive line, a lot of new faces in that wide receiving room, and there's a lot of injuries. So there's a lot of questions. As always, there's always question marks. That's what you love about the National Football League. It means not for long. And just because you're good the year before doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate over to the next year. The other players have to be saying to themselves, where's my time off? Well, that's the reason why he's the greatest of all time. It's a good point. Your thoughts on Dean starting opposite of Carlton Davis? Jamel Dean, a lot of people surprised by that. Not myself, because he did a good job last year in the absence of a Carlton Davis and, of course, a Sean Murphy Bunting. Surprised that the Bucks went in that direction. And really, the pressure is kind of on SMB, right?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely going to be a little bit of pressure on them, but I don't think they're going to be. Look, the question mark shouldn't even be considered for the defensive side of this team. I think the defensive side of this team is going to be just fine. It's another system in Todd Bowles' era. And now you got even better. The only thing about Akeem Hicks is he was a little bit injury prone in Chicago. Granted, he was. But then again, they have more depth on this defensive line so that if he does get injured, they don't have to bring him back as quick. And that's what kept happening to Akeem Hicks in Chicago. Eddie Goldman didn't want to play, so he just pretended like he was hurt all the time. What? People didn't believe me? He went to Atlanta and then quit. Akeem Hicks was forced to be put back into the game. It's a little bit different here in Florida, especially here with this organization. I think he is going to definitely play an entire season this year. It's definitely going to be an upgrade. And let's stop worrying about the linebacker play, especially the safety play and the cornerback play. When you have a front four and a front seven like this Tampa team has, it's really going to take up for the deficiencies that the secondary has.
And I think the key is, as always with this team, is to stop the running back, and that would be Ezekiel Elliott or Pollard in this case. I think Elliott, every year, his yards per carry have gone down. I don't think he's the same running back, and I think this is where you have to have that matchup. You shut down the running game, you make the Cowboys one-dimensional, and you put the onus on Dak Prescott.
You're going to make me eat?
Right.
You going to feed me?
He's going to feed anybody. I mean, he's going to get shut down, and then CeeDee Lamb, that's your guy right there you got to double up on. I'm doubling up on him. I'm bracketing coverage, and I'm forcing the other guys to beat me at that point, those young wide receivers. Let's keep on reading some of these comments here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to Sean. Yeah, you can't say that about Coach Prime. Coach Prime, come on.
He was goofy.
Well, he's been a great coach for Jackson State. He's a Hall of Fame football player, but at the end of the day, if he doesn't have pass rush, he's not as good. He is one of the best corners of all time, but even he would tell you that the defense is predicated on your pass rush. Let's go out to Sean again. What's so great about the Bucks front four?
Just watch. Listen, don't even have to talk about it. Just watch.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to tell you. It's not the front four. Let me clarify this. It's going to be the front seven. Just watch.
Okay. And I agree with you on that. Let's go back out to Sean here. Vay is a beast, but Shaq Barrett had a mediocre year last year, and Hicks is good when healthy, but that's not often. That is the big time key there. If Hicks can stay healthy, I believe he is absolutely an upgrade over a Sue. Let's go out to Rick. If they really want to use the $6 million, I'll take it. I think a lot of people would. Yeah. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Did you see my comment about Godwin? Yes, I did, Christopher Cole. And that's why we're going to go to that really quick. We'll read more comments after this, but right. I mean, we talked about it. Chris Godwin, him saying that to me, I'm not sure. I think he's playing a poker game, but is it important to have him in that second half of the year? Look, you got the first 4 games. If there's a guy that's going to step up on this team and it's not Chris Godwin or Mike Evans, is it a Julio Jones? Yes or no? And why or why not Harry the Greek?
I think it's going to be a combination of a couple players. It'll be Julio Jones and Russell Gage. That's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you right now, Todd Bowles thinks that Julio Jones has returned to his old self. Of course, the last couple years here, he missed 7 games. With those seasons combined, 82 receptions, 1205, and 4 touchdowns. They want more production out of him. Says Bowles, he can play. We got him. He was kind of out of shape. So he kind of limited his number of plays down in practice. He's kind of gotten to the point where he's returned to his old self. He's had a great mentality. He's been great for the guys in the room as well as out on the practice field, the DBs. And right now, he can play. So, your thoughts, because you drafted this player, and this could be a player that people say, you know what, Julio Jones the last couple of years hasn't been Jones. Maybe the Bucs know something that everybody else doesn't.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Peter? Keep going on that one, because I really don't know what to think on that.
Well, look, at the end of the day, you have Mike Evans. He's a little bit banged up. I think he's going to start. I think he's going to be fine. You always have to worry about the hamstring issue. With Julio Jones, he was always a number 1 or number 2. But if you limit, those repetitions in practice, much like they did with Rob Gronkowski, you saw the Super Bowl year, he was able to stay healthy the full year. Maybe that's what you got to do. Maybe it's self-preservation at the end of the day. You've got to limit those repetitions in practice. You've got to also limit that in the game time situations. He's not going to be counted on as a 1 or 2. And you also have Russell Gage, Scotty Miller, and Jalen Darden. So it's not like you don't have the weapons at the end of the day. And you also talked about Kyle Rudolph. So for me, I think Jones could absolutely make a big-time impact. A lot of people kind of just saying, you know what? He's washed up. He's seen his best days. Tom Brady's at quarterback. Julio Jones, I don't know. They may have something here that people are not necessarily talking enough about. And he could definitely be a fantasy still in your fantasy.
Julio's going to have a listen. Julio's going to have a good year. That's just my opinion. I mean, he's going to get his catches. I mean, look, Mike Evans, is he going to set the record? Who knows?
Right.
I mean, it's never been done before, and there's a reason for it because it's pretty freaking hard to do. But when you
Sure.
bring in a Julio Jones, I mean, this team is really going to be really good this year. And I think offensively, they're not going to be as, how do I, prolific passing like they were in the past,
Correct.
but when they do pass, it's going to count. I can tell you that.
What's Vegas right now on this number for the Bucks wins? Where is it at? Is it 11, 12? And where do you see this number falling into? Once again, we talk about the 4-game stretch. They're very tough schedule, but overall, can the Bucks win 11, 12, 13 games? Can they match that 13-4 last year?
I think they could, Peter. I think they could. That's not something that I'm going to play an
Okay.
over or under on because I think it was at 12.5, and I don't
How would
like
you
to touch
play this,
lines like that.
Harry? I mean, how would you play this? I mean, could this team be better than they were last year and actually have less wins because of a tougher schedule?
Yes, I think the
Okay.
team can be better and actually have less wins. Just like in the AFC in the Kansas City's division, I think 11 wins is going to win that division because of the way it's competitive. And this year in the NFC South, the only team that really didn't get that much better, well, they didn't get better at all, were the Atlanta Falcons. I think
Mm,
Carolina's dramatically improved, and so has New Orleans.
mm.
And it wouldn't surprise me to see the Buccaneers actually split with Carolina and New Orleans this year. It just depends again on how healthy they're going to be. And is McCaffrey going to stay healthy? And let's not forget Mr. Crableg himself up in New Orleans. I mean, he was having a Pro Bowl season before he
Right.
got injured.
14
Okay.
touchdowns, 3
Okay. Come on,
interceptions.
man.
But
It's
you
it's
don't have Sean Payton.
no.
Everybody, and Peter King was mentioning this the other day. He's picked the New Orleans Saints to not only win the NFC South, but also the NFC at 12-5. Am I missing something here? I get it. You got Jameis Winston, you got Alvin Kamara, Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas. Thomas hasn't been able to stay healthy. You draft Chris Olave out of Ohio State. They have some weapons. They have a defense there, but you're without Sean Payton. Why do you think you're going to be better off without a Sean Payton? And I guess people would say, well, the same situation down here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Todd Bowles over BA.
Look, they're going to run a very similar type of offense that Sean Payton ran up there. Okay, they're not foolish. Okay, Sean Payton's an absolute genius of a coach. That might be a very unpopular statement, especially to people that watch your program because it's an NFC South provided type of deal. But I mean, you got to
Sure.
give the man where credit's due. I mean, the
Mhm.
guy's a genius, an absolute genius. That's
Sure.
because he's a former Chicago Bear quarterback, but we're not going there. But it's a joke, Peter. I thought you could kind of laugh at that.
Yeah, absolutely, I will.
I know if my boy Jeff Stassi or any of the guys from Chicago are watching the show tonight, they're actually kind of cracking up at that statement.
Yes,
Um,
I know they are. You love to put those Chicago puns in there,
yeah,
and
I got to, man. I got to. But seriously speaking, you know, I think this team is going to be just as good as it was last year, but I think it's going to be a little bit stronger in New Orleans because of the capabilities of what one Mister Jameis Winston might be able to bring to the table.
so you don't think he reverts back to his old self without Sean Payton?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. Actually, I think Sean Payton got him right back in line. I mean,
Well, but Sean Payton's not there anymore. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Sean Payton's not there anymore.
Peter,
So,
let me ask you a question. Okay, I'm going to
sure,
play
go
devil's advocate here. Okay.
play devil's advocate. Yes.
Okay. If you're a man who's dying and you're a guy that loves vegetables, everybody that knows Peter knows that he loves his vegetables, right?
Want to get
And
banned
you
from
go, and all of a sudden you start eating some vegetables, right, Pete? And you start to feel better. And then all of a sudden, Pete, the vegetables aren't there anymore and you start feeling bad. What are you going to do? Not eat them? No, of course you're going to. You're going to go back to eating your vegetables. I mean, it's a very ridiculous way for me to make that comment, but
Okay.
he's learned from Sean Payton that he cannot continue to make these kind of mistakes. It's 1, 2, 3 throw. It's thrown to a spot. It's the quick reads. It's not holding onto the balls. He's lost a hitch in his delivery. He was much better with his thinking.
Hold
His
on.
decision make. Go ahead.
Let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Mr. Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh yeah, it's Vin Diesel, baby.
Oh, gee.
Yes! Yes!
All right. What's going on, Fat Mike? Welcome to the Evolution. What do you have to say about this conversation?
Man, hey, listen, I'm just calling in to tell you guys are doing a great job.
Thank
I
you.
love you guys. I love listening to you guys every single time you guys are on. You guys are fantastic. You guys are a great team together.
We are. I mean, and look, we're a part of 1252 Chicago Sports, and I'm proud of that. And I was talking to your old buddy the other day from 95.3, 620 AM, Mr. John Mamula himself, telling him, look, I know this guy, Fat Mike. He does a great job. I love being a part of that platform on Friday nights with the over-under, and I love this co-host here, Mr. Harry the Greek. You got Harry, you got Leo. We got so many great people a part of this show. So, just getting ready for football season. I'm just ready to go.
I want to comment on one thing that Fat Mike said on many shows. He called what was it, Muffin Top? What did you call Akeem? Not Akeem Hicks, but Eddie Goldman. What did you call him?
It's not just me. It's me and Mongo.
Yeah, Mongo. That's right, Steve McMichael.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yep.
He calls him Muffin Top. Yeah, because he's soft up top.
Oh yeah, you ain't kidding. He was
soft up top.
Yep. Mike, how you doing today, buddy?
We're doing good, man. I'm doing real good. I'm getting back to health. The wife and I are hanging out here watching TV, and I was watching you guys, so I figured I'd chime on in with you guys.
I appreciate it.
And congratulations, Mr. Fat Mike.
Oh, congratulations for what? Anniversary?
Anniversary.
Remix.
Yep. My boy made it 1 year. She hasn't killed him yet.
Well,
and the word yet.
Yes. Well, look, that's a that
so
is
I got a question for you guys. I know you guys are sitting down there talking Tampa Bay.
Sure.
And you guys are sitting.
We're talking everything.
We're talking everything. We could talk about the Chicago Bears if you want.
Where do you feel the Tampa Bay Bucks end up the season this year? What's your preseason record for the regular season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I'll go first. I'm going to say 12-5. I think 12-5, 13-4 is realistic. I'm going to tell you why, because I think this team is extra motivated from the loss last year against the Rams. You also have the Brady situation. I think it's going to play into his favor. I believe he has that competitive fire, if you will, like a Michael Jordan, where he'll take something that is adverse. He'll take that situation and he'll make the most out of it. I think he's going to be extra motivated, not only because of the situation last year, but because of this. And then on top of it, talent-wise, defensively, if they can stay healthy, which again is a big if, but if they can stay healthy, I think they are one of the most talented defenses that the Bucks have had in their history. Mr. Harry the Greek, you go.
Well, I just had to change glasses for this one because I have Fat Mike on there. I had to put I had to put the Prada shades on. You hear me,
Prada shades on. Okay.
Prada shades. Okay.
Right. So should we play some music? Maybe not, because then we'll start something that I don't want to. Yeah, it's all about family. No, we're not going to play it. Go ahead. I have prediction for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
If New Orleans if Nolans and Carolina have the seasons that I think that they're capable of having, I think Tampa wins 11 games this year. So I kind of like the under. I think this team could be better, but actually win less games this year. It's just an opinion.
No, and I certainly think that opinion is out there with with the schedule being tough. I mean, what do you say? I mean, the division is in flux right now. Of course, New Orleans without their coach and Sean Payton, depending on a Jameis Winston, Dennis Allen now taking over the reins.
Right. You hit it right on the head there, Pete. And I think a lot of people are way too hot and way too high on famous Jameis.
Right.
I mean, he's the same guy that threw 30 touchdowns and 30 picks and $5,000.
I've been there. I've been there with these people. I know. Right.
We know what he's capable of, but man, oh man, he doesn't have nearly the amount of weapons that he had in Tampa Bay that now he has in New Orleans.
Right.
I mean, Chris Olave could be something. Michael Thomas, who knows what's going on with that guy?
Guy can't stay healthy. I mean, and when the guy is healthy, he's just a slant.
Whether or not his labia is in a cast this week or next week.
You know what? I'm going to do this. That was great.
How about them Bucks, baby?
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Let's see what's going on with Michael Thomas. But, I mean, they still got Alvin Kamara. What's going on with him? He may be suspended a couple weeks this year.
Sure.
It could be a big thing going on with the New Orleans team. Tom Brady, listen, I mean, even though he comes back looking more and more like looking more and more like one of the heads from Easter Island every year. I mean, let's get real here. He's still Tom Brady. He's still the greatest quarterback that's ever played the game. And I'm taking Tom Brady every step of the way.
Mike, you played the sport. You played the sport. I've played the sport. And when you're looking for your quarterback who's the leader on your football team, and I want you to go back to your playing days, did you ever see your number one, your your team leader leave for 10 days and you're okay with it?
Listen, it's Tom Brady. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. The guy's been playing football for 25 years.
No, I wasn't talking that from that standpoint. I'm talking about from a Russ standpoint.
Seriously, it's Tom Brady, man. If he needs to break away, the guy knows the playbook.
Correct.
There's one of those things that you go back onto where it was like, okay, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, guys like that. They don't need an offensive coordinator because they are the offensive coordinator.
Correct. That's a great point.
All right, like they really are. They know what to do to win a game. Whether or not you can hire me to be the offensive coordinator. Look what's going on up there in New England right now. You got Matt Patricia and the other poop dick up there.
That sounds like a mess. That to me, that sounds like a mess. Right.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be Bill Belichick be like, okay, we're running the ball.
Yep.
We're passing the ball.
Right.
We're running the ball. We're passing the ball.
Right.
Matt Patricia or the other guy, it doesn't matter at this point. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, the guys like that, they don't need an offensive coordinator. Tom Brady's going to come in there, and he's still going to win. He's going to go 11-6, 12-5, like you said. And it's a ridiculous team down there, especially with the news with Chris Godwin coming out today, where he's going to be ready for week 1. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And then I think
what do you think about the damage? What do you think? What do you think? Sorry, Peter, but what do you think about all the injuries that they've sustained and the retirement on the offensive line, especially in the middle where Tom Brady likes to step forward, not backwards?
Good point.
Right. No, good point.
I mean, I think that's the big time thing. Ryan Jensen is hurt. You got Ali Marpet that's, retired now. You've got a left guard that's a rookie, and Luke Haggerty out of Central Michigan. He kind of prides himself from the game of a Ali Marpet, small school guy. You have Shaq Mason coming in. So there's a lot of changes, but at the end of the day, Brady makes your offensive line better because of what Mike just said. He's an offensive coordinator. He makes quick decisions. He knows the offense, and I get it. People are saying, what about the 10 or 11 days that he missed in training camp? Is it a big deal? It's only a big deal, guys, if he gets off to a slow start or this team gets off to a slow start. At the end of the day, once again, Brady has that Jordan mentality, that competitive fire. Will he'll use this as his motivation?
I don't even think it's that big of a deal because even with all the offensive linemen going down, we've watched Tom Brady over the last couple of years here. All right, with the offensive linemen going down, we've watched Tom Brady over the last 3-4 seasons, even before he was with the Bucks, make quick pass decisions. 1-2 drop back, quick release pass and a slant. All right, and you guys have the best wide receivers down there to do so. In Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, who's the little white guy that's down there that I really like?
Scotty Miller.
Scooter.
Scotty knows, definitely.
Cameron Brate. You got Cameron Brate.
Yeah. Kyle Rudolph. You know all about Rudolph.
Right. Kyle Rudolph, that guy's a moose. He's a moose to get off of an outside linebacker for 3 yards and make a 5-yard catch. And that's how Tom Brady's lived his last 15 years as a career.
That's it.
I mean, let's get real here. I mean, Tom Brady is the master of quick release, wide open guy. You watch Tom Brady. He hasn't thrown a fucking. Excuse me. I'm sorry. He hasn't thrown a deep ball. He hasn't thrown a deep ball in 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, well, he throws deep sometimes, but you're exactly right. I mean, he's definitely
more deep balls last year than anybody in football.
I mean, they love to throw.
He's not that guy no more. He's not that guy where he's chucking it 35 yards. He's the guy that's gonna kill you.
Peter, go to your last comment.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's hold on. Let's go to these comments really quick here. Mike, you stay on the line. We're on with Fat Mike here, 1252 Chicago Sports, along with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Welcome back here to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. All right, so let's go here. I did see the comment about Godwin. Hello, guys. Good to see you back. Thank you, Ralph Williams, bodyguard of the Berg. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Jeff says
My
Julio will
boy.
have a great year. I believe you. He will. The Greek, what are your thoughts on the Bears' new stadium talk? I tell you what, we'll get back to that in a moment. Let's go out to David here. Are we now going to have to leave and then at least 2 extra blockers on pass protection because we're now worried about blitzing up the middle, but people aren't talking about how Donovan Smith has multiple hiccups during the game where he needs help. You're exactly
I'll take that
right.
one.
Go ahead, take it.
Okay, I'll take that one. First off, Donovan Smith is just like any left tackle in the National Football League. There's top tier, middle tier, bottom end. Donovan Smith is not a bottom end left tackle. He fits somewhere between a top tier and a middle tier kind of left tackle. First off, there's not a left tackle other than maybe 2 of them in the entire National Football League that could play one-on-one the entire game without either getting chip blocking or help from a tight end. Period. Okay. In this new offense, you're not going to hear Donovan Smith's name called out like you did from before because you had all these 5 wide receiver sets and everything was in motion. And there was that risk it, no biscuit type of mentality of offense. You're going to see a lot more controlled type of offense. You're going to see running the football to set up the pass. Not like it was last year, pass the ball to set up the run. So as far as Donovan Smith is concerned, or David, I've already read your comment. We'll bring it up there. That's not what I said. Okay, I didn't say that at all. There's question marks regarding this offensive line because of the retirements and all the injuries. Okay, and it's a fair comment to say because you don't know what's going to happen, and there's no such thing as sprinkling magic. But Mike said it best. Tom Brady can make quick reads and get rid of the ball. Okay, that will nullify a lot of the pass rush. But so does running the football. I think Tampa is going to be just fine in regards to that. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not trying to poo-poo on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans' hopes here. What I'm trying to say is this is not the same offensive line that he has been running behind to operate this offense. But by week 5 or 6, it will be just fine.
Go ahead, Mike.
The one thing I will say too, Harry, you have the right on the head. The one thing that's really concerning is that Leonard Fournette looked like he ate Leonard Fournette.
Well, much was made about that, but he's in
what, 30 pounds heavier?
Yeah, he's in good shape now. He's about 225, and then on top of it, they did something a little bit sneaky today, and I'm not surprised by it. Greg Allman of The Athletic here reports that Rashard White is going to be the second running back. Guys, watch White.
I've already told you by week 5 or 6, he's going to be your starting tailback. And
yes,
by the way, Mike, can you say Eddie Lacy?
Oh, come on. Well, that guy's 280 going into Taco Bell at this point. Now, Leonard Fournette's not like that.
Greg is right. I've spoken with Greg over the past 2 years when the Bears have played the Bucs.
Okay.
And Greg has a really good feel on what's going on down there with the Tampa Bay team.
Sure. And I'll tell you right now, Rashard White is going to be a big time in their plans because not only pass protection, but he can catch the ball consistently, which I think Fournette did a better job of last year, but that's what they're looking for, and they haven't had on this team. They were looking from with the victim of volume, a victim of fumble by Ronald Jones. Couldn't do that consistently, and that's why he's on a Kansas City roster instead of the Bucs. They want somebody who not only can run the ball.
Let's get real here.
Yes.
Let's get real here.
Mm-hmm.
Ronald Jones really never had the chance to kind of great offensive line like they had down there after they got Tampa Bay.
Well,
Tom Brady with Tampa Bay.
He had that year where he nearly had 1,000 yards, and then after that, after he got hurt and Leonard took over in that postseason and was tremendous.
Well, yeah,
he regressed.
Exactly.
Right.
We all know it's one of those things where it's not what have you done for me, but it's what have you done for me.
What have you done for me lately? Right, absolutely.
Well, exactly.
And if I
ride the hot hand,
correct,
just like the completely different sport, but just like Cristobal Huey and Anthony Niemi.
Sure.
In the 2010 playoffs.
Sure.
Cristobal Huey, yeah, you're great, but Anthony Niemi's stopping, 98% of the shots faced towards.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where it's like you gotta ride the hot hand. This year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got to do. I know that they lost a couple offensive linemen are hurt.
Sure.
The defense is still coming back strong. All right. The big question mark for me,
Game Hicks,
being an outside fan of the NFL as a whole, not just a Bears fan, but a fan of the NFL. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what they need to be successful this year is a healthy 90% in getting healthier throughout the year, Chris Godwin.
Okay.
Ooh. I thought he was going to say someone else.
Well, I tell you right now,
And
Chris
that's
Godwin is
legit.
a
That's
big
legit.
part. He's exactly
Like,
right. Chris Godwin
that's
is
a
a yes, big
that is
part.
a big
Even
thing.
Yes.
You're talking
Mike,
about
even with the additions of Julio Jones and Justin Gage.
listen, Julio Jones. Listen, I love Julio Jones. I've had the guy in every fantasy team for the last 10 years of my life.
Hey,
Right.
I offered you Jones and Trubisky for
I know. With
Right.
and,
Julio
and
Like
20
for Mike
bucks.
Evans. I mean, why not do that trade, right?
point,
Mitch and
at this point,
Julio. Right.
At this point, I'd rather draft my fucking dad as a wide receiver.
I love him.
Get real here.
You'll see, Mike. You're going to regret it.
Emphysema. My dad is 67 years old, emphysema and fat.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Let's get real here.
Yes.
Chris Godwin is a really big part and a really big can be a really big instrumental part of this offense like he was last year before he got hurt with the ACL. If he comes back and catches 60, 70 balls for 800, 900 yards and 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, that's a huge breakaway to give up layaway on Mike Evans. It takes away that extra part because now you got Cameron Brate, you got Kyle Rudolph, and now you have to worry about Leonard Fournette and Chris Godwin outside of Mike Evans. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
I know
we need Chris Godwin to come back healthy.
I know Harry's got to run. I appreciate the call as always, Mike. Let me go ahead and give you the woo, and I'll give you $1. I know you covered the Bears, but
How about them Bucks, baby?
you brought it tonight here on the Evolution. Definitely don't be a stranger, my friend. All right.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm gonna start watching this Pray the Gay Away TV show.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Good stuff.
Mike, it's all about family, baby.
Oh, geez. All right. Let's go out to Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution.
Thanks for having me on again tonight, Mr. Peter Blake. Welcome back, by the way. It's really nice. We'll see you this Friday evening on the Over Under with 1252 Sports. I'm your host, Harry the Greek, alongside with Mr. Peter Blake. We're going to have Prison Break hot takes. We're going to talk about all the gambling coming up in Week 1 in the National Football League. We might even have a couple of special guests. You never know. We might even get the Greek's wife on here to give her picks.
We love that.
Because everybody knows where I get my picks from. But we're giving out our first picks for Thursday night football game. Play the Rams at home on the money line. They're the underdog.
All right, good stuff. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Look at the record, 137-91. If you want to make some mucho dinero, that's the guy to definitely consider. Thanks a lot here for being on the Sports Web live on I Love St. Pete, the Hub, and Amped Up Sports. All right, boss?
Have a great day. Thanks, Peter.
All right, good stuff there. I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll get to your comments and your phone calls. Not enough comments and not enough phone calls tonight. I hear crickets on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Keep it locked.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
All right, welcome back to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about as the phone lines are open. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Thank you very much for welcoming me. Welcome back to me. Welcome back to the show here. As we'll be on tomorrow night, hopefully have Dennis Phillips on. He has a fantasy draft, so we'll see if we can get him on at 9 o'clock. Have some other guests on, Jason Powers. We'll make that announcement on where we're exactly going to be on Sunday for the Cowboy game. So let's keep on reading some of these comments. Want to get out to you. Let's go out to Mike here. Mike says secondary's got to stop dropping the interceptions. Of course, Carlton Davis has talked about that in the offseason. And look, if you're paid as a top 10 corner, you got to start making some of those plays, and that's exactly what this defense is trying to focus on. Good stuff there. Let me give you the Ric Flair. Woo! Appreciate it. Jeff says Dallas has horrible lines. They can't rush that well. I agree with you on that, Jeff. He's got a quarterback that will get him the ball. I think he's talking about Julio Jones and Tom Brady, maybe even Kyle Rudolph at this point. You look at the quarterbacks the last couple of years from Mr. Kyle Rudolph, nothing to write home about. Kirk Cousins is all right, but everybody else, not so much. Scotty Miller, good. Cole says 11-6 is my prediction for the 2022 Bucks. I agree with you, Peter, about the Rams playoff game. I think we may be in the NFC Championship game this year, and I think that's what you're aiming for, and you're aiming for a Super Bowl. And we talked about it on this show, that Brady is motivated. This team is motivated. They have talked about it ad nauseum. They still can't get over that loss versus the Rams in that playoff game. That's a good thing. That means they got a chip on their shoulder. That means they're not going to go into Big D or any of these games flat. They got something to prove. You got to love that. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So good stuff there, Cole. Let me give you the Ric Flair. Woo! Appreciate it. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. I have a thought on the Rays that the strike call umpires have their own strike zone, and that low strike was called all game, but umpires are so inconsistent. You're exactly right. It's what ruins the game of baseball, makes it somewhat interesting, but you never know the strike zone. The strike zone is supposed to be specifically this, and the umpires want to call it the other way. And that doesn't necessarily always work out. But Rays win tonight 8-4 over the Red Sox. 4.5 games out, with the Yankees looking like they're doing a choke job. And I tell you what, I hats off to the Tampa Bay Rays, because say whatever you want to about their struggles early on in the season and the trades, and I've been very, very critical of this team, but they continue to get it done somehow, some way, and they're getting healthy at the right time. You have to be excited about this Rays team. Let's see if they can finish up. Sandra says, watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web on Amped Up Sports. Thank you very much, Mom. I love you. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons. My future agent right there, Jeff says, Harry Berg dying, Jeremiah more picks, Jeremiah or still crab legs. And again, going back to Jameis Winston, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but no Sean Payton. Plus, they were limiting his throws last year. What was it, 20 to 26 an average? Remember when he was in Tampa, it was 35 to 40. That's the key. Can they do that again? We'll see. We'll see if Winston can stay healthy. I'm not going to sit here and say New Orleans is going to be a pushover. But Tampa Bay has to get over that hump. They have to get over that whole the whole thing of getting beat by the Saints. You got to get over that. You got to do something. You got to take care of business during the regular season. Of course, their most important win over the Saints was during the playoffs, which led to a Super Bowl. But it's important. It's important with the number 1 seed that you have those division wins, because they count for 2, especially the Saints. I hate the Saints. I'm sorry. I do. I hate Saints fans that are talking about how trash the Bucks are. But at the end of the day, you look at the statistics, the Saints have owned the Bucks. So they got to change that. And we'll see if they can do it this year. 727-255-0391. Your thoughts on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How excited are you? Only 5 days away from the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football on NBC. I hear this right now, guys. I'm not impressed. Felt like we'd have more calls tonight from Buccaneer fans wanting to talk about, give me your score prediction. Give me your score prediction. Give me a win prediction. Tell me who you think is going to stand out this year for this Bucs team. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Cole says 25 touchdowns, 20 interceptions for Winston, 9-8 for New Orleans as a result. We'll see. I like the prediction, though. But somebody did write in here. We'll get to his comments. You have the greatness of Alvin Kamara. If he can, stop beating people up off the field. Just saying. By the way, I don't understand why the NFL has waited so long to suspend him. Why is it 2023? The video's there. Suspend the guy for what he did. I mean, you should be suspended in the first place if you're getting out of control during a Pro Bowl. We're going to go to the Pro Bowl and get out of control. We're going to hang out with our boys and beat the stuff out of somebody. Come on, man. That's terrible. Jeff says that Nola D is pretty tight. It is, but they did lose Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They just traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles. That is a big-time loss. That is a player that has been in the thorn of the Bucs side ever since he's came into the league. Jeff says, don't talk about the Bears, at least until they move. Of course, everybody looking forward to the Bears moving. Everybody looking forward to the Chicago Bears and their rebuild. It's going to be a tough year for Justin Fields. And I tell you right now, let's go out to Yahoo Sports, of course, in care of NFL quarterback at betmgm.com on the Yahoo Sportsbook. Mark Drumheller says under the quarterback props, passing yards, and touchdowns, hit at a 74% clip last season for Connor Allen. This isn't a quarterback in the league in a worse position than Justin Fields. Uh-oh. As I've talked about it on 1252 Chicago Sports on Friday night, and as we have Fat Mike on here, and of course, Harry the Greek, Chicago has the worst offensive line in the NFL and the second worst set of receivers. Fields under 3,299 yards, as good as gold. That's what he says. So you got proposition bets out there right now saying Justin Fields is going to struggle. You think? Yes! Yes! And I get it. The organization is trying their best to rebuild, free up money next year, but this is not the position you put a second-year quarterback in. It's not. I'm not sure about this offensive line. I'm definitely not sure about the wide receivers. I feel like they haven't done enough to help this kid out. And they have set him up to fail. They have set him up to fail. Just my thought process. All right, according to Nick Bromberg, Patrick Mahomes has thrown for over 4,700 yards in each of the last 3 full seasons he's played in the NFL. His only season as a starter with fewer than 4,700 yards when he missed time because of a knee injury in 2019. He likes Mahomes to throw for 4,640. So he likes him to throw for over or at 4,700 yards this year. I'm not sure. Losing a Tyreek Hill, what's the impact? What have the Chiefs done to help him out? I get it. They got Travis Kelce. What else? Juju Smith-Schuster? We'll see. Marcus Valdez-Scantling? I get it. You got Patrick Mahomes. But what's the impact of losing a Hill from that wide receiver room? We shall find out. Let's go out to Juana here. Yep, you're talking about everything, and I love it. Thank you very much, Juana. Appreciate you. We'll fire the cannon. Jeremiah says, I feel 14 wins easy. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go on to Juana. Hi, Bandit. What's going on, Bandit? The Boston Strangler. Please don't strangle me. Winston didn't have Kamara in Tampa Bay. Very true. Good point. I'll give that to you.
Woo!
But he did have weapons. He did Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. He had a fairly good offensive line. It just didn't work out here, and he turned the ball over way too much. Now, with the running game, did he have enough in the running game? No, you didn't have Leonard Fournette. You didn't have Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski. I get that. But at the end of the day, if you're a quarterback in this league, you have to make better decisions. He did it last year. Can he do it again? Can he do it without a Sean Payton? That's the big-time key. And again, we talk Bucs on this show, but we're going to talk about the NFC South. We're going to talk about the Saints. What's the transition process of Baker Mayfield as the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers? Can he turn them around? Is he the answer to the question? Or is Matt Rule going to get fired? And the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, you're a Falcons fan. I mean, I'm sorry. I've been very clear about this on this show. Anytime you have Marcus Mariota as your starting quarterback, you don't have a quarterback.
How about no?
You don't have a quarterback. I'm sorry. And I would expect to see Ritter here possibly in the middle of the season. Because you got to figure out if that kid's going to be your future. And I get it. You draft Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Cordero Patterson. I mean, you have some weapons there, but it is a mess. It is a rebuild. They are the last place team in this division, period. Winston won't throw 30 picks. We'll see. No quarterback should throw 30 picks. I get it, though. When you have a quarterback that has a propensity, Leo word, of turning over the ball, you want to run the ball more. And that's what the Saints figured out last year, limiting his throws. Can they do it this year without Sean Payton? We'll see. Do they have some weapons there? Yes. Michael Thomas is a weapon. Chris Olave at Ohio State, a rookie, has speed to burn. Definitely a weapon. Jarvis Landry, Alvin Kamara. That offensive line is not good. They're not good. That is the biggest question mark of that offensive line. And we know if you get pressure on Winston, he'll give you some. He will. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as we're 5 days away from your Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. You got to love it. You got to love it. But I hear this. I don't know what's going on. All right. We'll keep on reading these comments, and then we'll get out of here for the night. And if you have anything else to say, you could say it tomorrow night on Wednesday night on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television live here on I Love St. Pete, the hub. Amped Up Sports. Go like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. So, Harry, you don't think Brady can sprinkle his magic over the offensive line like he did his first year here because Alex Kappa wasn't that great? We had a rookie right tackle, and we all thought Donovan Smith was going to get him killed by week one. He had them already. Certainly possible. Absolutely possible. Great comment by David. That's the greatness of Brady. So it's certainly possible. Absolutely. Let's go out to the Boston Strangler. Julio may finish top 3 tight end numbers as a wide receiver because that's how Tampa will use him. We'll see. I don't know if they're going to use him as a tight end. And I don't see that happening. Use him as a third wide receiver. They use him all over the place. They may limit him. I think if they do limit him, you may be able to save him from injury because at the end of the day, that has been the sore spot for his career the last 2 years because he hasn't been able to stay healthy because he's had hamstring injuries. And if you can keep him on the field, he is still a weapon. Make no mistake about it. He is. Is he 5 years ago, Julio Jones? I'm not sure about that, but can he be a weapon on this team, especially in the red zone? Absolutely. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So good stuff there, Boston. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Almost didn't recognize Peter without the beard. Did you lose a bet? No, it's itchy. It's hot out. It's about 90 degrees with humidity. Makes it feel like 105. Basically, it is a Saturday night in my kitchen. It's the reason why I got an air fryer. Because everything in my kitchen on Saturday night burns. True story.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
So I had to shave the beard. But thank you, Boston Strangler, for tuning in. As always, appreciate it. We agree to disagree. Most of the time, you come strong to the mic. You always come strong here. So keep on coming strong on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. But yes, it's a younger me. People say 10, 15 years. I'll give you that. I'll take it. Loving all the perspectives by everyone. We thank you very much, Juana. As always, love seeing and hearing you on the show tonight. Harry, Fat Mike says, bring back the beard. Peter H. Blake, we shall see. Tony says, love watching you guys. Thank you, Tony. Let's go out to Pig Dog Video. Peter, I can't believe I'm asking this, but do you think there's a chance the Rays can catch the Yanks for the division? Yes. Absolutely, they can catch them.
Yes!
Have you seen the Yankees play lately? In fact, there's a statistic out there, like 10-21 since the All-Star break, and in 20 games, they have scored less than 3 runs. That's not good. And I get it. You got Mike. You've got Aaron Judge. I almost said Mike Judge from Beavis and Butthead. That wouldn't have been good. Aaron Judge, who is on pace to break the home run record, but he's the only guy right now that's doing anything for that lineup. So yes, there's an absolute possibility that the Rays could catch the Yankees. Yes, I do. And they're getting healthy at the right time. Because according to various reports, including ESPN, Wander Franco is ready to go to Durham to rehab. And you got Tyler Glasnow. Now, what about Shane McClanahan? Shoulder impingement? They're going to be careful. I'm not a doctor, but just reading up on it could lead to a torn rotator cuff. You don't want that. So they're going to be careful. But could you imagine this pitching staff adding a Tyler Glasnow and then Wander Franco to that lineup? You're getting healthy at the right time. By the way, they win tonight 8-4. Randy Arozarena with a 3-run shot in the bottom of the first kind of paced them. So Pig Dog, good question as always. Let me give you the Ric Flair. Woo! Here's a prediction. Buccaneers 31-20 over the Dallas Cowboys. I like it. I like it a lot. By the way, for all your Buccaneer needs, not only the sports web, but go to buckpower.com. I do a podcast called the No Quarter Given podcast with my tag team partner of the world, Mr. Jason Powers. Powers on Sports podcast. We'll have him on here tomorrow night if you want to not only get a preview of the game, but also talk about the history of this matchup with the Dallas Cowboys and various teams on that week. Buckpower.com, the No Quarter Given podcast. Bucks have more Super Bowls than the Saints. Absolutely. Facebook user, Buccaneer offensive line is very scary. No Barpet, no Kappa. They're gone. No Jensen, no Stenny. Brady is going to get hit. It's a popular opinion out there. I don't know who you are, Facebook user, but thanks a lot for tuning in and commenting. Again, open phone lines if you guys want to call up. Give me your Bucks prediction or we'll do it tomorrow night. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. But it's a good point. And it's going to be a point of emphasis, Facebook user, to see what this offensive line does this year. And we always talk about it ever since Brady has come to Tampa Bay. You got to protect him. You got to keep him upright. You keep him upright, we know what he can do. Over 40 touchdowns, 2 years, every year with the Bucs. Tremendous. Christopher Cole says, LF over 1,200 yards from scrimmage. Brady, 45 touchdowns. Evans, 1,000, which would be amazing once again. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Jones and Godwin with over 800 yards. 5 to 8 touchdowns. Love it. Let me give you the fire the cannons here. All right, let's go out to David. I missed your answer. Who do you think we freed up money for? I think it's Gronkowski. I do. I think Rob Gronkowski is going to come back during the season. Maybe not now, but there's a reason why they're freeing up that money. They're going to make a move. I think freeing up that money, they're going to go out to Rob Gronkowski. They're going to convince him in the second half of the year. Goes back to Chris Godwin's comments. You know, in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter if I play the first game? What matters is playing the second half of the year when we go on our playoff run. I think that could be the same thing that you're thinking about with Rob Gronkowski, going after him in that second playoff run, that second half of the year when you really need him. Do you need him now? Yes, you need him now. But you know what? He's going to get antsy. He wants to play football. And who knows? He may want to win another Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Just saying. So do I think he's absolutely retired? Not at all. Do I think the Bucs made this move for a reason? Yes. To go out and sign Rob Gronkowski. Could be somebody else. So that's your answer to the question. Juana says, such an awesome sports talk show tonight. Peter, glad to see you back. Glad to be back. Let's keep on looking at these proposition bets here. Peter Truskowski says Justin Herbert to go over 4,700 passing yards. He eclipsed 5,000 last season. I expect him to be near the top of the league. Again, the Chargers will need to throw the ball to keep up in games against their loaded division. My only concern would be injury, but that's a concern with everyone. And that would be a team that would be in the vaunted AFC West with the Chargers, with the LA Chargers, with the Denver Broncos, now with Russell Wilson, with the Las Vegas Raiders adding a Devontae Adams, with the Derek Carr, finally having a number one option, and of course the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, the Chargers to me are the team to beat in that division. Justin Herbert taking that third season of progression. You've got Mike Williams off of a big-time contract, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. And then defensively, I like what they did. I love what they did. Again, key word, can Khalil Mack stay healthy? If he can, you have those bookends with a Joey Bosa and, of course, a Khalil Mack. And that's what you have to have, ladies and gentlemen, in order to win in that division. You have to get after the quarterback. Not only have a quarterback, but get after the quarterback. Get after a Patrick Mahomes. Get after a Derek Carr. Get after a Russell Wilson. And that's what the Chargers have done. So I like the Chargers in that division. I definitely like Justin Herbert to do well this year in fantasy football. And yes, I do care about your fantasy football team. You know, there's a lot of sports talk shows that will come on here and say, you know what? Don't care about your fantasy football team. I do. I care about it. A, because most likely I want to steal some of your players or your points. And B, because we talk football on this show. And if that includes fantasy football, that's what we talk about. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Yaj here. I have the front row seat every day. Todd on the coaching staff, and this will be from Yaj here from I Love St. Pete. Has the team ready. The line unit is ready for the task. Yaj again, I wish I could give detail, but everyone will be pleased with this year's team. No need to worry about the O-line. Quarterback, keep an eye out on that rookie running back and Rashard White. Love it. Great show. Miss listening to it. Fire those cannons as we now. I'm here for you, Yaj. I am. It's football season.
How about them Bucks, baby?
I'm here to talk football with you, not just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Predominantly, we do talk about that on this show. People want to vent. People want to get excited, as they should. This could be Tom Brady's last year. But make no mistake about it, the expectations are high, as they should be. That's what you come to expect as being a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan at this point. You have the greatest of all time. They're disappointing. Lost last year to the Rams. It's stuck in their craw. It's stuck in your craw. It's all you've been thinking about this offseason. You know why I know that? Because it's all I've been thinking about this offseason. Because it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So you're ready to get rid of that. And hopefully the Bucs do that this season, and it starts on Sunday night versus the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Bucs defense will be top 5 in takeaways and sacks. Yeah, if they're that, then they will be elite. And they will have an opportunity to do some great things this year. Trust me. You're getting sacks and turnovers at the same time. You're giving your offense a short field. Sky's the limit. We've seen it. We've seen it with this team. Sacks, okay? I like it. Let's continue to go through these betting propositions and anything you want to talk about concerning your favorite NFL team. What do you think about this matchup on Thursday night with the LA Rams and Buffalo Bills? Have they gotten it right? The Super Bowl champion LA Rams. It's just so hard to say, isn't it? But give credit to where credit is due. Matt Stafford is back at the controls. We'll see about the arm situation. We'll see if that's a point of emphasis, if you will. Will you be able to last the whole season? You know, what is this team going to do without a Von Miller, who is not on their team anymore? He's on the Buffalo Bills. But the Rams added a Bobby Wagner, a veteran from Seattle. Do they have enough defensively? Do they have enough offensively? Can Matt Stafford stay healthy for the full year? Aaron Donald is still on that team. Jalen Ramsey still thinks he's the top corner in the league. Mike Evans would disagree. Sorry, he would. I don't know if you're the top corner. Not that last play against Mike Evans, you're not. All right, Greg Branios here says Kirk Cousins over 31 passing touchdowns. He's cleared each of his seasons with Justin Jefferson, and that was in Mike Zimmer's vanilla offense. I see Cousins tossing 40 scores under Kevin O'Connell this season, which is why I'm also putting a taste on him to lead the league in passing touchdowns 18-1. So if you drafted Kirk Cousins, are you feeling good about that? Because you do have a Justin Jefferson. You do have an Adam Thielen. You do have Dalvin Cook, who hopefully, for their sake, for Viking fans' sake, can stay healthy, who has not been able to stay healthy consistently. But when he is, he's one of the top running backs in the league. Does that offense change? Without a Mike Zimmer, who's a defensive-minded coach, to now going with an offensive-minded coach in an O'Connell, who I believe is out of the Rams coaching tree there. Let's keep on moving on. Let's go out to Scott Panowski. Baker Mayfield cruises over 3,600 yards, and that's a minus 115 if he simply stays healthy. Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore can drag him there. Don't be spooked by 2021 Mayfield. He wasn't healthy for most of the year, and the Browns set him up to fail. All is forgiven. We shall see. That's what a lot of Panther fans hope for. He's an upgrade over Sam Darnold, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. And Baker was playing hurt last year. Just remember, 2 years removed from leading the Browns to the playoffs. Yes, I said playoffs, which I don't think the Browns will be in this year with their quarterback situation and Deshaun Watson. We're not talking about that unless you want to. Unless you want to make me angry. If Stafford gets clipped out on that arm, it could be an issue. It's something to watch, Christopher Cole. As always, very good with your comments. Love it.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Love it, man. Thanks a lot for the support. As always, Mr. Christopher Cole here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to Frank Schwab, who says, I'd rather bet under than overs, but because more can go wrong in the NFL season that can go right, there's a trio I like. Jameis Winston, under 3,700 yards. He wasn't a high-volume passer last season and is an injury risk now. Mac Jones, under 3,900 yards. Definitely would take that bet, wouldn't you? With what's going on with the New England Patriots, we shall see. Offensive coordinator who's never been an offensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, is your offensive coordinator. He wasn't a great coach. He's going to be an offensive coordinator. I'm not sure about that. The Colts threw for 3,500 yards last season. Not that much has changed around the quarterback position. I expect him to be good and protecting a lot of leads. Ryan will be efficient, but not a 3,900-yard passer. You don't need him to be a 3,900-yard passer because you have possibly one of the best players in the league in a Jonathan Taylor. Over 1,500 yards of rushing, over 1,800 yards from scrimmage. Amazing. Look, the Colts are a scary team. I'm going to tell you right now, they're a dark horse. You know, everybody talks about that AFC with the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Broncos and the Raiders, maybe even the Titans. You're talking about the Bengals going back to the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow, but do not sleep on the Colts. I'm telling you, they have the defense, and if they can protect Matt Ryan, and that offensive line wasn't great last year with doing that, protecting the quarterback, I think he's an upgrade over Carson Wentz. I do. Even with Carson Wentz's numbers last year, I think Matt Ryan is an upgrade, and you have, once again, Jonathan Taylor, a defense that's going to get after it. You add Stephon Gilmore. You add a Yannick Ngakoue. You have a DeForest Buckner there. You have a Darius Leonard, who's one of the best linebackers in the league. I like what the Colts have done in that division as a whole. Besides the Titans, I mean, the Jaguars, you look for some improvement. It's got to be some improvement over Urban Meyer, for God's sake. You know, Trevor Lawrence going into his second year, what's the progression on him? And then, of course, you got the Houston Texans and Lovie Smith, our old friend there, coaching the Houston Texans this year. Let's keep on reading some of these comments. Okay, we talked about that. I guess that's all the comments at this point. Let's continue to look over here. We got no comments at this point. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and wrap it up from there. And going back to the AFC South, You have the Titans, and then, of course, you got the Colts. That's my dark horse. We'll talk more about football, getting you ready for, of course, Tampa Bay Buccaneer football versus the Dallas Cowboys from Big D on Sunday night. We will reveal the location where we're going to be on Sunday night. Yours truly, Jason Powers. We're trying to get Dennis Phillips on. I hear JC Allen may be in the building. Just getting you ready for football season. Are you guys ready? Are you guys pumped up? Thanks to all the guests tonight. Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports. Of course, Fat Mike from 1252 Chicago Sports. And then the legend himself, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports, Mr. Leo Haggerty. We'll be back tomorrow night here live at 9 o'clock on I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports, and The Hub. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. And do 3 things for me here on this Tuesday night. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And it's your time. Have a great night.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.